Hi everybody, this is Donnerama. I just wanted to give you a quick preface on this video. Gnomoria is really for specific tastes. It's kind of a city builder, but it's also very technical and can get very dry at some points. I made this like a 35-minute video just to get not even halfway through the first year. So just if you don't like that kind of video, now is the time to back out. I won't be mad at you. This is for my own taste anyway. So have a good day, guys. Welcome everybody, this is Donnerama. I'm going to be playing some Gnomoria tonight. Uh, I have played way too much of this game. Like, I have several hundred hours logged in this game, mostly because I played it at work while actually working, letting the little gnomes do what they want to in their spare time. So I don't know why I really even want to do a let's play of this, but I figure I might as well impart my expertise on the world. Alright, so new game. I tend to do the advanced setup on these, mostly because I really don't like beetles, because they lag the game all to shit. And I tend to make the enemy strength a little lower, but the attack size higher, just by a little bit, because, I like to kill lots of goblins. But for the sake of this video, I'll put it back down to 1, just so you get an idea of how they normally attack. Let's make this more flatlands. Leave it like that. We'll make it wider hills, just to make a nice even playing field here. What are we gonna call this? Let's call this shiitake. I'm making shiitake. Shiitake. All right, now this is gonna take a while. All right, so we're done generating the map, and here we go in our brand new map full of everything. Let's see. Oh yeah, I haven't played the game for a while, so I gotta remember the controls. But yeah, this is actually not a bad area to start. We got oranges, and we got a lot of wood. Nice big flat area to work with. You can actually make some nice makeshift walls out of what you got here. Just kill off all these ramps. Just put a dirt wall across here, and maybe some more dirt ramps, but they basically just kill all the ramps and goblins and stuff can't get to you. The goal is to make sure there's only one entrance, so that you can put your training room right at the entrance and prevent them from getting into the rest of your gnomes. And you can pretty much leave them on autopilot from there. So let's go ahead and start mining stuff out. Alright. So when we start, we've all got some professions here. Important ones are your farmers, your miners, and your woodcutters. The builders and the rancher, you can really repurpose them. I generally make the builders into multi-purpose, like pretty much pick up everything. I make them all, in fact let's do that right now, make sure that all of them will carry things and construct things, because really the builder skill doesn't really exist. Anybody can make anything, it's just the higher your construction skill, the more things are worth when you make them, and that's more for crafting and selling things. And later on in the game, that doesn't really matter. Woodcutters, let's see, make sure they can build. Let's see. I also like to make sure that these guys, the woodcutters, will do horticulture, which is the maintenance and planting of all of the trees. So they will actually cut clippings and plant new trees, as well as the farmers, because you already don't want to overwork your farmers. They tend to be a major choke point when you're doing your thing. In fact, I tend to also take them off of brewing and construction. I leave them off too, because they have other shit to do. Ranchers, I turn them into doctors. Make sure that they pull their weight, because they're not always doing anything. And later on, when I get more gnomes, I tend to make soldiers also ranchers, so they take care of the animals. And let's do builders. Builders, I like to make sure that they can do masonry, because you need a lot of stone for building up walls and other junk. And then you can carpenters, so that way when the woodcutters are out cutting trees, these guys are down there making all the wood stuff. And of course they need to have construction and hauling. I think these guys are doctors too. you're always going to have those. And we'll leave those alone for now. We'll make some soldiers when it comes time. Now to the main event here. We've got to create a nice little kingdom. I think I'm going to make this little choke point here my main wall. Build some walls. Soil walls. Any clump will do. Any clump will do, yeah. And out to about there. And then back over here. We don't have any dirt quite yet, so the builders don't really know what to do. Let's see. I'll make an entrance right into here. Make this like a little antechamber. Why not? And then we'll make some storage in this mountain for all of the clippings that I'm eventually going to get. And let's dig a set of stairs down so that I can make my underground fortress of awesomeness. Now, I like to make things nice and even because I am being retentive. We'll start it off like this. Just actually make it 3 wide because we're going to make this the main hallway. And because this is the center of where they come down, everything starts to double back. So if you're coming from up here, you gotta go all the way into here and then it starts anew. So this is equidistant from this, from the upstairs. And that's what we want. So, alright, so the first thing, a couple things you need in order to build up are your crude workbenches, which I will build. Actually, let's cancel that. Forgot they just recently added this. It has been quite a while since I played, but I know that they've redid the build and jobs to cancel the job. There we go. Before there was just actually a button that you press and you just cancel the job, but now you actually have to tell it. You want to resume it or suspend it, which makes things a little bit harder, but once you get into the game, it gets kind of easy. Alright, so that's for the crude workbenches and all that. This is all in pause mode, so you can get everything set up and going, because if you let them cherry around for too long, you tend to end up getting way too far into the season way too fast, and then they don't have any food, they'll starve to death, the cows run away, and the last thing you want is your cows running away, really. Okay, so I'm making first the wood base here, 6x6 area, because you're going to need one for a carpenter's bench, one for a wood carving station, that's to make the crafts, and then you're going to make 2 for the sawmills because you're going to need a lot of planks. And then we're going to go ahead and make storage for wood. This is going to be the planks right here, and then just general logs just in these rooms right here. And make a couple of entrances there. Intertwine them all so it's easier for these gnomes to get where they need to go. Alright, so that's the wood station right there. So let's go ahead and do stone, which is the next area. This one we're going to make a little bit bigger because we need more stone stuff. Lots and lots of stone goes through here because a lot of the crafts we're eventually going to make are going to be stone. Because crafting is the bread and butter of this game. Alright, so we've got that. Next we need a kitchen for all our food stuffs. Actually, alright, so we've got that. Now what we need to do is put in some more storage. We'll make this little area right here the block chamber. Namely because you put blocks in there. And make it pretty big, because we're going to make lots and lots of blocks. And we'll make a small room over here that turns into raw stone. When we dig out the lower levels, it's going to be nothing but stone. Lots and lots and lots of stone. Okay. Like, we're talking metric fuck tons of stone. How much is a metric fuck ton, you ask? Well, you take a regular fuck ton, then you multiply it times 2.2 because kilograms. And then, I don't know, just bring it to France and compare it to the units of measure. Don't ask me. I just work here. Make sure it's easy for these guys to get from the workshops into the storage. And then I'm going to make this area right here general storage for everything. Because you need an overflow pile, otherwise shit just kind of piles up everywhere. And then you get things like stone golems and dirt golems because they don't know where to put stuff. So, that's it for now. From here, we're going to go ahead and also make a dormitory. You're going to need a dormitory when you first start because these guys don't really have a place to sleep. They get more energy if they sleep in a bed, and you don't have the resources to make beds right off the bat. So once we dig this out, we're going to put 4 beds in here, and they'll all take turns sleeping. Some of them will end up sleeping on the ground, but that's fine. Alright, so now upstairs, just find a nice clean area, and put a pasture out there for the cows. Oh, yaks. Yakety yak. Whatever. And they eat straw, so you leave them there. You don't have to worry about that stuff for right now. But yeah, you have to put a pasture down, otherwise these cows just go free. And now that we're out, we're going to go ahead and cut down. Actually, let's okay, so now that we've put down a pasture, we need to forage. I always do foraging first because then you get all kinds of stuff off the ground. And because you don't really want any of these trees in your nice space, you get to cut down all the trees that are in the way. So for now we do agriculture, fell trees, and cut down all this annoying plant life. This is time for industry, you guys. Gnomes and industry. Yeah. Alright, so that should take care of pretty much everybody. And we'll go ahead and just let these gnomes go on to their own business. There we go. Both of my cows are happy. Already have some milk coming out of there. They're already building their wall. Let's build some more now that they have. Yeah, terrain, wall, soil, any soil. All right. And actually, I forgot to do something here that's kind of important. We need to make a farm. We're gonna make this right here. 8x7, that works. Because wheat is extremely important. You need that for the cows as soon as possible. And you actually want to do it before you start foraging, because now they're going to be out there doing all this shit, and they should be farming that land. In fact, let's go ahead and put the priority on this. Priorities I found are actually very important. It's because if you don't put the priorities in place for things like this, they tend to randomly assign priorities to things. And then they end up going over and trying to get a cow, trying to do animal husbandry instead of actually making food that actually works. Because the cows take way too long to reproduce in the beginning to provide any kind of food. So you need to rely on your wheat and your strawberries and all that other stuff to survive. Alright, now that we have that initial wall up there and we got some extra dirt, we can go down there. You see these guys are nice and far on their mining jobs here. Not quite done with anything, so I can actually put down a... And these guys aren't quite done, so that I can put down these next storage spots. In fact, we can actually give the entrances here. Let's just do every 3. Like I said, I'm being retentive, so I gotta make sure they're all evenly spaced. So we want to designate as a stockpile. I can go ahead and start this now. Let's see, we want to make this the number 10 stockpile. That way, they put that 10th place up for everything else. We'll just make this everything. And we'll start taking things away as we make other stockpiles. And that way anybody who's idle will go down there and take care of that. Okay, let's remove ramps. Right, so this is the best way to artificially wall yourself off in the beginning of the game. Because guys are too stupid to make ladders. And because we have not totally walled ourselves in yet, they can still get up here and harvest this stuff if they want. Looking pretty good on my wood supply. Let's see, we got our plants planted. Let's forage some more over here and get rid of this stuff. Okay. Okay, gonna pause it here for a second so I can designate my dormitory. Alright, so I don't have any stone yet. I'm going to need to mine a little deeper in order to get that stuff. Let's build some beds. Yeah, strap it. Strap it. Strap it. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we got those 4 being built. And all these guys are collecting all the dirt they can because they have nothing else to do. So I'll actually make this 5x5 so I can just make this a downward hole. Stairs down, right there. Let's rotate that so it looks the right way. Technically it should turn the other way because you're supposed to face the top of the stairs when you're going down, so it's easier. But gnomes don't work like that. So let's mine the walls. Get a nice little area down here, because it's probably been stone by here. Right now they're too busy cutting down all the ramps. Now what's a little odd here is that you can't walk on the top of one of these unless it has a floor above it. So anybody who's up here can't actually go down to that ramp and over the top. Which is really weird in my opinion, but you know what? I didn't make the game. Alright, so once those are built, we should have total access restraint only through this area here. And that's good. You want your livestock away from the main gate, because if goblins come in here and your gnomes are away for some reason, they immediately go into here and down to fight your gnomes instead of fighting your livestock, which will then bleed to death. You can never actually stop these guys from bleeding, so you end up with a problem. Okay, so let's do some agriculture. We're going to do grove. Let's do it over here. Is that in line with this? No. And now I've actually come to like just putting down fruit trees for my lumber supply, because they tend to take about the same amount of time, plus you also get oranges and stuff out of them. And plus that stuff just looks better. I like the redwood looking better than the oak or the birch trees. Oh, there's pine. Alright. Okay, so let's make some workshops, fruit benches. And I don't have any stone yet, so these are probably going to have to wait. I always build 3 because one of them always makes the auto-generated orders, and then you have one for stone and then one for wood. Or just make them both wood and just queue out a bunch of planks, because otherwise they're just going to sit there and put them in the wrong order. And if nothing, this game is about ordering your guys for automation. And make that stock out bigger. Alright, so let's do this one as stockpile. Okay, so let's do that. This one blocks. And make this one raw stone. Now some may be wondering why I made the entrance like this, because I'm going to be putting the stone cutters right here. I'm going to make 3 of them right here so they have plenty of stuff to work with, and they're going to want to go ahead and go straight down to these guys over here. And I probably should have put it right up against them. I wasn't thinking about it. And here's the first one of these. Let's make this into just a crap ton of planks. Why is it prosperity? What kind of stone did I get here? Oh, sandstone. Okay. And they're still chopping away at that wood. Got plenty of strawberries here. Let's make a strawberry farm. And we're going to need cotton too. Cotton picking. That is an old expression. And these are lower priority than this farm because this one is the almighty wheat farm. See, this way also the builders aren't just sitting around doing crap. They don't have any idle. Because there's nothing for them to build right now. Okay, fast forward a bit here. Now that I have a couple more planks and everything set up, we need a couple of workbenches and chairs. I'm just going to craft those right now just to begin with, because otherwise, like I said, they tend to have crappy priorities. And now that we have these guys mined out, no coal quite yet, but we can make some of that if we need to. Let's see, so I've got another farm building right there. Still a lot of logs out there, but I'm pretty much mined all the way out here. Finish walling this area. And just make this a nice even area. Alright, so next up we actually have to build our normal workshops. So we're going to go start with the wood. The carpenter, I believe, is what we want first, because that will allow us to make benches faster. And then we want to build workshop, stone cutter. That over here, closer to the raw stone. And then, let's see, this one just needs a chair and a workbench. This one needs also a chair and a workbench. Which is why I made 2 of them here, which is what they're doing right now. Oh, forgot to turn off. This is something that's kind of important. You have to turn off the accepted, the generated jobs, otherwise they will randomly decide they're going to stop doing what they're doing and build whatever they want instead. And once we have a sawmill or 2, we can get rid of all of these rather, because all you really need is a stone cutter, a carpenter, and a sawmill in order to get rid of these guys. Now, let's see, I'm down to 18 wheat straw pile. Means I have about 9 more days before these guys run out of food. That's why this is so important, because once these guys are out of food, they run the fuck away, and then you're out of cow. And if you're out of cow, you have to pay a crap ton of goods in order to trade for new cows. Since we don't really have anything else to do here, let's just replace these floors here. Get some actual dirt clumps, so we can turn that into a farm later. And just, I don't care. Oh no, I fell asleep on the floor. Whatever will I do? See, and that's why you make everybody builders, so that even when they're doing other stuff, when you make them builders, because when they have nothing else to do, they'll go and build something when you have a big project. And usually the big project means, you know what, I didn't make any water, did I? Ah, there's some water, okay. And usually builders is the last priority, so they'll do everything else first, and then they'll go build stuff. But I tend not to make the farmers build, because even then they can sometimes be really stupid. Alright, I now have a carpenter. Excelente. All of my mans are sleeping, except for the ones working. These are the go-getters right here. One of these guys is going to be mirror. You know what, I'm just going to cancel all these out, because instead of just making a ton of planks like that, I can just tell it to make a plank and then repeat that plank. That way he does nothing but make planks, and it's less clicking overall for me. Go, dirt replacers, go! And I've got a confession to make, guys. There's a reason I'm so good at this game. I'm actually 5 gnomes in a human suit playing this game out of experience, personal experience. This is actually a history of my people. My people were not tall. I just realized that that could be taken as a Gravity Falls reference. That was a good episode. Come on, you foes. Get up and gear, you bastards. Make me some of them sweet, sweet planks. Mm. Yep, we need to make some workshop. Next thing we need is a stone mason. Yeah, mason. Because we need the mason in order to make the saw blades, actually. Cancel, it's facing the wrong way. Stone mason is this way, alright. And there's David playing Saints Row 4, because he's a tool. Should probably turn those pop-ups off when we're doing this. Meh. Okay, and we're pretty good on food. We're okay on drink, but we really need to turn this into... Hey, why are you making that first, dick? That's why you don't do that. Because they take the last thing placed as first priority, for whatever reason. Okay, so... that out of the way, that's my wall. Huh. How am I gonna get this water? I guess I could just dig a hole in this mountain right here. Don't really need a lot. That. Okay. So. Hole right there. I'm going to turn that into a well. Now, filling in holes like this is kind of tricky because they tend to want to build this wall and then trap gnomes in there who starve to death, which does not do well for my gnome population. And some builders are faster than others, so we end up. That's the only real reason you would want to designate builders, so that they can all be fast and do the kind of stuff really fast. But then you end up with really, really shitty circumstances, and you end up with a dead gnome who is also the builder, the only builder, and that turns bad pretty quickly. Hey, what did I just say? And they do that little vibrating thingy. It's really annoying. Alright, so build this. Now that that one is already halfway done, build that. So now I can just dig a hole right out here. Okay. Alright, there. And that will turn into my well. Yeah! Yeah! That's a ticket. Alright. Awesome. Okay. I've got a cat trying to visit me here. Yeah, alright. At this point, there's not a whole lot to do. I'll probably fast forward through all this. Okay, so all of our workshops are done here. Cat, it's time for these with me. And now that we have those done, I can make a sawmill. That's wood, sawmill, let's make 2 of them. Deconstruct these 2. We've got enough boards to make just at least one of these here. And he's making a block for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, for the saw blade. Ah, okay. In fact, with the stone cutters, I generally do a craft 220 for all stone block type. Sandstone. Somebody can put a designation on that. If you just leave it at 20 blocks, you'll see any block you make, and then just leave it at that if there's 20 of them. But you want 20 of everything, because reasons. Alright, we're building ourselves a saw blade here. Let's deconstruct this other room. We're going to turn this into a hospital. And the reason I didn't build a hospital right off the bat is because nobody really attacks you right off the bat. What are they doing? Why are you making out there? You should be ashamed of yourselves making out on a crude workbench. None. There we go. Next thing we're going to need is a kitchen. So now that that's been built up, let's finish up these workbenches in stone. Yeah, stone cutters. Let's do this. I tend to build a lot of stone things. This is how you build castles efficiently. Stone harbor. That is the decorative goods and things that you can sell, which is actually very helpful later. And then lastly, we want miscellaneous. We want the prospector shop to be about right here. Because what goes better with stone than dirt? In fact, I should probably make a dirt stockpile over here. 20 by 20, that'll work. Okay. So we're just going to make this the dirt stockpile because there's going to be a ton of dirt. And you're going to need to prospect that. Get you some slivers of stuff. And so that we can stop putting it in this one here. It's dirty. That's this dirty stockpile. And I'll put silica in there. Because that's what happens when you prospect dirt, it turns into silica. So, there's no glassworks in the game officially. So I don't know why they would do that. It's for clay and stuff. Go, little gnomes, go! Yeah, they're getting so tired. No. She's been working all night. Alright. So those are in process of being built. How's my wheat coming here? Nothing yet. Okay. We're on day 5. It generally grows in day 6 or 7. But I was kind of late putting it in. So we'll see how that works out. But now that we have blocks and stuff, let's build ourselves a workshop. Yeah, that's right. And a well. There we go. Any block, any plank. Sounds good to me. And now when I run out of this stuff over here, whatever's in these barrels, grape wine? Yeah, okay. They won't all die of thirst. Which is bad. Bad things happen when you don't drink water. Though I don't know how they've been surviving this long just drinking wine. They are pretty crank. Oh, it's crank? No, it's crunk. Yeah, they're crunk. Shut up. I'm not hip with your lingo. Okay, so the game is nice enough to provide you with 2 barrels and 3 crates, which you can actually use immediately in your general stockpile. Makes things a little bit easier. Let's do storage. Storage crate. And you can do that. Just these 3. And some barrels. Those there. And that way, they're not just sitting up here. Oh, and we have bags too for holding our cotton. Because this stockpile is set to hold everything, they can then clean everything up and make a nice tidy. Oh, and I can actually make this area stockpile better. Okay, and so now that this one is built, I should actually do craft to 10. That way we don't run out of planks. Let's do another grove. This time we'll do apple trees. The 1 apple tree I have. I'm not going to fell those trees, because why would we? Now the only negative part about walling myself in like that is that I now have to go all the way around to get to these orange trees. And I don't even see any apple trees in here. There's one. Yeah, they're just going to have to defend themselves. Alright, so let's go ahead and take some of these idle guys and cut some clippings out of these orange trees and the pine trees. Why not? I also get oranges from them. So, let's see how many are idle. Let's see. Nobody. Yes, that's the way we need it. Everybody work 100% of the time. Efficiency. Go efficiency. I'll probably end up just evening this out here and turning it into more pastures or groves, that's what they are. And eventually I will wall everything out in stone instead of dirt, because that is aesthetics, people, and that is what makes civilization. Because without the artists, what are we but savages? Oh look, Travis is playing Left 4 Dead 2. I really want to play that game. I played that game so much. I'm so sick of it. Anyway, that's where I'm going to stop this right now. I'll probably pick this up a little bit later, see how our gnome friends do. At this point, we've got a pretty good setup going. I just need to start making a kitchen and start getting some foods made up, especially bread as soon as this wheat grows, which should be any day now. It's the 6th day and it's still a sunrise. But I will see you guys in the next video, and thanks for watching.